Welcome to the BNI Partners in Excellence podcast, where local professionals come together to connect. We share stories, and we use the power of network referrals to help build our businesses. Today, I'll be sitting in as your host. My name is Jim Lowther. I own Prescott & Lowther Insurance. We've been in Chula Vista and now Bonita for the last 53 years. And we specialize in health insurance for business owners. We help design and create their benefit programs for their employees. And also we help those that are senior eligible navigate this confusing world that's going right now with healthcare. So we help those in that area. Today, we're going to do something a little bit different. We usually use this format to introduce another member of our group, and we highlight and show what they're doing in their business and get to know them a little bit better. But today we want to try something a little bit different based on the fact that our group has been meeting every week for the last 18 years in the city of Chula Vista, specifically the Chula Vista Golf Course. I thought it'd be different what if we just invited the mayor of the city to come in and talk to us a little bit. Number one, I don't know a lot about him personally, but I think it'd be nice to know about him personally and know about the business outlook for the next couple of years. So I'd like to introduce, it's my pleasure actually to introduce the 41st mayor of the city of Chula Vista, Mayor John McCann. So Mayor, welcome. Thank you for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me, Jim.
Yeah. Well, can I say something right away?
Yeah, go ahead.
In my mind, I'm going to be calling you John the whole time. And if
call me John. Call me John.
Thank you, because you can call me Mr. Lowther. No, you can call me Jim. No, Jim would be great. So
no, I always find it easier when people call me John, and it builds that rapport. Yeah. And I know sometimes other people will say, no, you have to call me council member, or you have to call me something like this. And it's like, we're just regular people trying to help.
That's great. Yeah, because it's not going to go right in my mind if I try to do otherwise. So, yeah. Well, first off, I just thought we're not going to talk about policy, people. So we just want to talk about what's going on in Chula Vista. I'd like to know, I don't know anything about your background. I know some things, but are you from the area? Let's start at the beginning. Are you from this area, or how did you get to Chula Vista, and how did that go?
Sure. I'm a lifelong Chula Vistan. Oh, okay. I went to Parkview Elementary School, and we lived off of Orange Avenue. But back then, when I was in elementary school, we were in the 60,000s. And now the city's at 283,000 people. And in the next 5 to 10 years, we'll be over 300,000. So we've had some amazing growth. And so I grew up here, and they actually bused me out to Bonita Vista High School.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so I went to Bonita Vista Junior High School. Now it's a middle school, but they used to have 3 grades for middle school and 3 grades for high school. Oh, okay. And I graduated at Bonita Vista High School. Then I went to San Diego State University and received my economics degree there. And I'm a local.
That is local as you can get. All right. Okay. Well, when you were younger at Parkview or any of those other middle junior high schools, did you ever think that you might someday be the mayor of the city? Was that even on your radar? Or
I always wanted to serve, and I don't know if it would have wound up me always being in politics, but I love my city, and there were always, ever since I was a Boy Scout, ever since I was somebody who would go out with the church or the community, I'd always want to be helpful to others. And I felt that, how can I best be able to help the community? As well as, I remember when I was younger, my godmother, Paula, was a real estate agent. And where the community hospital, now Sharp Chula Vista Hospital, was, that was going to be considered the center of Chula Vista. And when I grew up, I was on the edge, and there was so much.
There was nothing east.
Yeah, there was nothing east. And I still remember when you'd go out to fish at Otay Lakes, it was a day trip.
Yeah.
And so just the idea of all the growing, I wanted to be part of that. So I was on the Planning Commission, Housing Commission, Advisory Commission, Beautification Commission in the 90s, and was very fortunate to be elected to City Council in 2002. I've served 2 terms. Second term, I was mobilized to fight in the war in Iraq, up in Mosul, Iraq. Then was on the school board, high school board for a term, and then luckily was able to get back on the city council and then elected mayor. So I'm a local and I love the city, and that's where I thought I could be able to help out. And we've done some amazing things at the city council. As I say, it's Chula Vista's decade. When I was a kid, you couldn't even do a prom in the city of Chula Vista.
Right.
So the goal was to be able to revitalize and do some special things and make a world-class Bayfront. We now have a 22-year overnight success story with the Gaylord project. When I was elected to City Council in 2002, 2003, we master planned the Bayfront. And then it took us 22 years to get the Gaylord approved and built.
I remember some of those, you doing press conferences back when on the city council, and even when Gaylord was first approached, and we had them the first time before it had to come back around a second time, being in that big field and having a big press conference. So it's been a long time coming, I know. So before we could jump into the city stuff, can I ask you one more thing about yourself? Because I want to think, you mentioned in there about your other service to the Navy. Can you tell me a little bit about how that came about and that? Because, again, thank you for your service, but I want to make sure that people know that you did serve there.
No, thank you very much. I've just been very honored to serve in the Navy. I have 25 years of service. I joined as a reservist as an AK, which is an aviation storekeeper. Mm-hmm. That is a rate in the Navy that consolidated with SK, which is a storekeeper. Okay. That rate then became what's called an LS, logistics specialist. Okay. But I was able to get my commission, and it's been just a very big honor because I've been able to support and help so many individuals in the military service, and been fun just being a part of a team. And I've been many places, including Iraq. And then also with Commander Naval Forces, I've been to Korea, and we're just very, very blessed to live in the United States.
Yeah, well, I'm very thankful for your service. Again, my dad was in the Marine Corps, career Marine, and that's how we ended up in San Diego, but I digress.
Oh, that's great.
So we're very patriotic.
We'll have to talk later about, I assume you had to make sure you made your bed.
Oh, and, you wouldn't believe. It was pretty tough. We were stand at attention boys that.
Oh, wow.
So he was overboard, but we had to stand at attention and couldn't smile, stuff like that. So we were exactly that. The bed had to be, you could bounce the quarter off.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I wanted to get that in before we did. I would like to jump into those big projects now. So we got, recently we've got Gaylord, which is beautiful on the Bayfront. And I know there's other large projects planned and what's going on. Maybe you could give us an idea of what those bigger plans are. Like we have talked about a university, we have the extension of maybe Millennia area. Like I don't know what's going on in Otay Ranch area, and then the sports complex stuff that's supposed to happen on the Bayfront. That kind of area, is that still going? Those kind of projects would be great for an update.
Yeah, it's an exciting time. And again, I always say it's Chula Vista's decade because we've been working together as a community to lay the foundation financially. When I grew up in Chula Vista, my mom was a single mom raising me and my sister, and she worked at the Aurora Industries factory, and we were a lower income community.
Sure.
And so when I became more involved, I wanted to make sure that we would have good quality housing and opportunities for people to raise their family. I still remember when some of my friends' parents would become a little more wealthy, they would move away. Ironically, some of them would just move away to Bonita, but Bonita was a long way away.
Right, at the time, right.
But I wanted to make sure that we had the ability for people to grow up in Chula Vista. And as you started out in life, whether you were in the mailroom, working your way up, but all the way through the boardroom, you could find a place to live in the city of Chula Vista. And Eastlake, for 10 years in a row, was the best new home community in all of San Diego County. So we did these great master plan communities, San Miguel Ranch, Rolling Hills Ranch, right. Eastlake, and now Otay Ranch. And within the Otay Ranch community, we still have several villages to be built. And then we have Millennia, which you had mentioned. That still has a little ways to go. Most of the housing is built in that. But there's an opportunity for us to create a university south of that. Okay. And then also we have 100 acres for an innovation district. And what the idea is that as we have a university, we can hopefully do something similar to Silicon Valley or Sereno Valley, where you have a university that teaches you these great things, so then you can get jobs up in the Sereno Valley area, and then the Sereno Valley companies will work with the university to make sure you're getting taught what you need to do a great job and get hired in those high-tech companies.
Oh, great. Is the Innovation Center not part of the university? It's a separate land use?
It's a collaboration. It's all being master planned together.
Okay.
And the city went ahead and was able to plan over 300 acres for the university and innovation center. And the idea is we want to make sure that not only are we a bedroom community in the city of Chula Vista, but we also have good high-paying jobs. When I was out of college and I was had working up in Sereno Valley, I still lived in Chula Vista, and I would have probably taken a good pay cut to not have to drive over an hour up there each day and then an hour back home, because if we could, just be able to live and work in the same community, I think it'd be a huge benefit.
Right. I've seen over the years many studies over how many people leave community, Chula Vista, go work somewhere else. But most importantly, the dollars leave too for that. And over the years, the last 10 or 15 years, I've heard that we're trying to get that shored up so that the money stays in Chula Vista and the people don't have to drive. So I appreciate that. So
exactly. And my wife's parents, they used to own Tomatoes Restaurant in Bonita. Many people, if you're a little older, remember that. Yeah. And the business model they had, and most restaurateurs know this, you not only have to have an evening business, but you have to have a lunch business also to make sure that you're profitable. And how do you do that? By making sure that people live in that community. And that's what we'd love to be able to do, create high-paying, quality jobs in the city of Chula Vista. And then those dollars will stay in the city of Chula Vista because you have people that are working there and they go out to lunch in the city of Chula Vista, but then they live here, so then they go out to dinner in the city of Chula Vista.
Yeah. No, I know that my wife and I were enjoying having more restaurants and more things close to where we are. We used to have just a couple choices, and now we don't have to drive to downtown or to Mission Valley. We have choices to stay right near our house. So I know things are getting better that way for us. So what about this sports complex on the bay? Is that still happening, or is that?
So it's a great concept, the Pangea project. We're looking at it and hoping that it will move forward. We've had several projects similar to that come, not all have made it. This one so far has gone farther than anything else. Okay. When we master planned the Bayfront, we wanted to make sure that we were giving first public access because we wanted to make sure that people could go down and enjoy the Bayfront. When I was younger as a child, it was pretty much industrial.
Right.
It was rural industries, and you had this big power plant.
Exactly.
So there really wasn't much access, whereas other places in the Bay, you did have that. So when we were master planning the Bayfront, we wanted to make sure that we would have the amenities in the city of Chula Vista that other cities would have. And I think with the Gaylord project and the vision that we have, we really have created an economic engine. We have the Sun Communities, which was essentially the vacation. They used to have an RV park, but that had to be moved to be able to put the Gaylord Hotel there, resort, convention center. And we were able to get Sun Communities there. I still remember when they were bidding on it, when we found out how much they bid to win, we were a little concerned because it was a pretty large amount for them to do.
Right.
But they have exceeded our expectations.
Yeah.
It's a great place.
Yeah, it's a great property just to even hang out. We've been there before as well. As what a great addition to that area, though.
Exactly. And it was the first time in my life that I ever had somebody say, I'm going to do a staycation in Chula Vista.
Right.
And
we know several people that have done staycations all at that property. So.
Exactly. And this is about creating these destination points where we in the city of Chula Vista don't have to go somewhere else to enjoy. We have them right here in the city of Chula Vista and have them high quality. And so we have the new Sweetwater Park. We've built that, and we're going to have 3 times as many walking trails, hiking trails, and then the Gaylord project is essentially the anchor tenant. And so we're going to see a lot more supportive amenities around the Gaylord project. South of that, then you're going to have the Amara Bay project by Pacifica.
Right.
And now you'll have the ability to live next to the San Diego Bay front, but because you can actually have 1,500 luxury units that will be up for sale. They'll have fine dining, fine commercial centers, retail, and it's really going to become an incredible destination point. Now, south of that, we'll get back to what you were talking about, is the Pangea project proposal. And that's where the old power plant was torn down.
Correct.
And I still remember when that happened.
Yeah.
They literally blew it up.
Yeah, I went in the morning when they blew it up and watched that whole thing get torn down.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
That is zoned mainly for recreational activities.
Okay.
And so we have looked at putting something there for a sports center, things like that. The current proposal with Pangea would be a tennis center, aquatics, and soccer. And so the majority of it fits in the current planning and current zoning, and it would become a destination point for tennis, for soccer, and for aquatics. And we believe that this would be an incredible opportunity if we can get it moved forward. The great thing is that we had a unanimous support by the San Diego Port Commission,
which is key.
Yeah, which is key. And then after that approval, they have to come back with a plan with more details to see if we're going to continue to move forward with it. So I'm optimistic. Yeah. I'm hopeful it will be the Pangea project. Good. But if it isn't, I think there are other people that we've talked to over the years that would love to have a shot. How many opportunities are there on the West Coast in California, especially with our weather, to be able to put a sports facility, entertainment complex on the Bayfront? Very, very valuable.
Right. Well, I do appreciate you going after big projects. So one of the first memories I have of you coming into Chula Vista is I saw on the news where you were trying to help get the Charger Stadium put here. And I got to be honest, at the time I was like, you're out of your mind. Like, how are we going to get the Charger Stadium in Chula Vista? Like, we're Chula Vista, right? So I had that small town mentality, but you were out there swinging for the fences, and you had a pretty good run at it. So I do appreciate you going after the big projects, and you and many others in the city that's put their weight behind getting the Gaylord and other projects here. So thank you. I'd like to switch gears a little bit and maybe talk about the smaller businessmen, right? So so our networking group is made up of mostly individual professionals and small, like we're not representing big companies. How do you see all these new additions to Chula Vista affecting the average guy? I do believe that for a time when people were looking at like these Gaylord, like they're looking at it from afar, like, oh, great, what does this mean for me? How's this going to affect me? But there's got to be many positives to the smaller guy like myself with a small business. How do you see that projected out with these new opportunities?
Gaylord and the Bayfront is just going to bring more economic investment into the city. When you're talking about thousands of people working at the Bayfront and then other thousands working out in Millennia and different places in the Innovation Center, that brings in the need for restaurants. It brings in the need for dry cleaning. It brings in the need for all retail, all these different aspects. And so I think, as I say, this is really a great opportunity. And many times in life, timing is critical and key.
Exactly.
And I was very fortunate to work for some different companies up in Sorrento Valley. And you always wanted to be there in the beginning,
right?
Because as your business owners know, you have these ideas, these businesses start. Suddenly there are all these different folks in there, and then they go ahead and grow, and then the market consolidates to some bigger folks. But I think this is a great opportunity to people to invest in Chula Vista because there are so many jobs, and I'm already, talking to business people, and they're feeling it in a positive way, where they're having more customers coming to their restaurants, when the dry cleaners are having more people come there to get their dry cleaning. There's more economic activity because we're employing more people, and this is just the beginning of that economic engine.
Oh, that's great. Talking about the small person maybe starting out, or like they see the opportunity, and I didn't ask you about this ahead of time, so you may not have an answer, but is there anything that comes to mind as far as incentives or programs for somebody starting out as a small business to help them, or resources they can go to at the city?
Well, the resources essentially would be done from the Chula Vista Chamber of Commerce or South County Economic Development Committee. We at the City of Chula Vista, I say I want Chula Vista to be the most business-friendly city in San Diego County. And so the idea is if somebody wants to start a business, they can contact my office. I can point them in different directions to be able to get them assistance. And we want them to be able to be successful. There are so many opportunities depending upon where they want to, what business they're trying to do, as well as if they're a veteran or things like that, there are opportunities there to be able to get some mentorship as well as potentially grants to be able to help them with their business.
Here's a question that I just popped into my mind. I'm not sure. So if you were starting a business today in Chula Vista, you're not going to go after the service side. You're going to, what type of business would you, with the insider knowledge that this is insider trading, people. No, with the inside knowledge, what type of business do you think you would think about introducing to Chula Vista that maybe is in need, that's not here, that you could see would fill a role?
Yeah, that's a really good good question. I think some type of biotechnology technology group, especially one that would be international, that would be willing to not just serve the Chula Vista and San Diego County community, but also south of the border. Chula Vista is strategically located in the San Diego Tijuana mega district, and it's amazing the economic activity that is here. I grew up in Chula Vista, and I have friends from high school that actually live now in Tijuana because of the affordability, and then they still work north of the border. And then just the opposite, I have neighbors that actually own businesses in Tijuana, but they live here. So there are many opportunities. So I think what you want to do is you want to find a passion of what you can do for you like to do good. But I definitely think the high tech and biotech opportunities are still out there, and there's a lot of opportunity, especially in Chula Vista, because we're so close and such a great partner with people south of the border.
Yeah, well, that's a great insight. Didn't mean to throw you down into like a first choice there, but that's great. So when you see what you've already been able to accomplish, is there one thing that you're kind of most proud of that you helped get through? It might have been one of those projects, or just something about Chula Vista that you're proud that you participated in.
I'm really proud on so many things that we've been able to accomplish. I think the Gaylord project is one of the top projects that I was very proud, and it was really neat because I was there in the beginning of the planning and was able to see it through the end, and it was I was just very honored and blessed that I was the mayor at the time to cut the ribbon.
Yeah, that was kind of cool timing, huh?
Yeah, it was
just blessing, like you said.
Yeah, and there were so many other people who participated. It was a huge team effort, but it was incredible to be the mayor at the time when we did it. But everybody was part of the team, and I was a team member, very very positive team member for years, and then it was time for me to step up and to be the leader, and I was very very fortunate about that. Two other projects that really were very fascinating, but I loved, that mean a lot to me in my heart. One is I served in Afghanistan. I'm a Navy veteran, and what I wanted to do is make sure that after the global war on terrorism, if people came from Chula Vista and they fought in Afghanistan, Iraq, or other places in the global war on terrorism, that we needed to make sure that we did a lasting tribute to them. And so in our new communities, what I did was I was able to work with the Baldwin and Sons and to be able to name streets after those individuals. And it was incredibly dear to my heart because it wasn't one of those things that they'd have their name somewhere, but people who fought for freedom and defended this country, all the people living on that street would always know and remember the peoples that fought for them. Yeah. And they would know it because it was their address. And so I thought it was a lasting contribution.
Yeah, that's a great honor, and great for you to think of that and to push it through. That's terrific.
And then just another thing, which literally we approved on Tuesday night.
Breaking news.
We have, exactly. One of the great things about our community is that we have people from everywhere. As I always say, I'm an American mutt. You name it. You do the 23andMe, and there's like, I think I'm from how many different continents. I have lineage, and but it's one of those things where we have different communities, and I think we obviously want to make sure that we're recognizing communities that have done substantial things to help our community and to be able to serve our country. And so the Filipino community, many times I think got overlooked or didn't necessarily get recognized. We have 70 parks in the city of Chula Vista. Most of them are traditional names like Memorial Park or Veterans Park, things like that. We have a lot of Spanish names, Hispanic parks, and things like that. But we didn't have one that was in honor of our Filipino-American history and our community. And so I worked with the Filipino-American community, and we were able to, for the past 3 years, we brought forward the idea and worked with the developer on this in Otay Ranch Homefed to name one of the parks the Filipino-American Veteran Park. It was just approved Tuesday night.
Okay.
It's a 5.5 acre park. It has all the pickleball, tennis, basketball, but the big thing about it is that we're going to be building a veterans memorial for Filipino-American veterans, have it there, and this will be a place where we can have the Filipino community come and have celebrations, whether it's Filipino Independence Day or other celebrations. It will become a key focal point, and it gives them the recognition that I think many times that they hadn't ever received, but they definitely deserve it, and we were able to successfully get it approved.
Well, that's
and
great.
That'll hopefully be built in the next year and a half, 2 years, so we'll be opening that up in Coda Vera.
Well, that's great. That's terrific. I'm going to wrap it down a little bit here.
Yeah.
I just want to ask you, when you're just hanging out and you're not doing events, I know you're doing ribbon cutting. Like, I see you everywhere. You must have your own personal pair of scissors, like a large pair of scissors in your car. But what is it you like to do when you just want to chill out with your family or your wife? Is there some place you'd like to go to, or like to hang out in Chula Vista just to not be working? Like,
I love my family. I have 4 children with my beautiful wife, and just going for a walk in one of our beautiful parks with my wife, or just having family game night with our family. It's a lot of fun, and just being with them. Being able to enjoy my family is great. I mean, and that's the most important thing to me. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to become a council member and now mayor, is Chula Vista is my home.
yeah.
And not only have I raised my children here, now I have a grandson, and we're helping raise our grandson in Chula Vista.
Oh, wow.
And I want to make sure that when people come to Chula Vista, they can feel that this is their home and that it has the highest quality of life of any other city that they can find.
Yeah, I definitely think that the opinion of Chula Vista, like that we had this opinion out there that we're just down south and they thought we were smaller than we are and all this stuff. Like when I'm traveling to North County and stuff like that, that's been changing over the course of the last 7-8 years. But I don't want to say they had an unfavorable opinion of us, but they just didn't know, right? But now we have all these things. We have the amphitheaters. We have all this stuff going on, and it seems like even when I watch the network news, like Chula Vista is pretty much on almost every night about something going on in Chula Vista. So I think people got the word out. But so I want to thank. Well,
let me just. That's a really good point. So as mayor, this is Chula Vista's decade, and I want to make sure that we're showing people what a great city we are. We are the safest incorporated city in San Diego County. People don't know that.
right.
In 2016, we were trying to bring companies down to locate into the city of Chula Vista. In North County, when we did the survey, more than half the people surveyed had a negative impression of the city of Chula Vista. The interesting thing was over half of those people that had a negative impression had never been to Chula Vista. Right. So the idea is that we're creating these great amenities and create great projects like the Gaylord project. We're going to be creating a 5-story new millennia library where 2 of the stories is going to have the Chula Vista Entertainment Complex, where you're going to be able to have them create special effects for TV and movies in the future. So essentially the Hollywood of the South. And so we're out showing people who Chula Vista really is and inviting people to come down and enjoy the city because we are very, very special. The quality of life is great, and we don't necessarily, in the past, we didn't necessarily have people have the best impression of us. But I think with everything that we're doing now, I think that's changing a lot of people's minds. And my biggest thing is when people are maybe not have the best thought of Chula Vista, I always welcome them to come down and look around, because when they do, they will be amazed. Talk about the university. We had looking at an agreement with San Diego State, and that agreement sort of was starting to happen, and then it went on life support, and we were afraid that it was not going to happen. So what we did was we invited the president and all the department heads down to the city of Chula Vista and look at the property, look what we could have. We gave them a presentation, and the ones that did come down, over half of them had never even been to Chula Vista.
Right.
And so when they came down, they were amazed at how wonderful, how quality of the new communities we had, what an opportunity it was for them. And then later I was able to sign a letter of intent with San Diego State to bring nursing classes to our new library that'll be opening in the summer of 2026. So when you can get people to experience the city of Chula Vista, I think they are always impressed at how well run the city is, how many amenities we have, and just the quality of people we have like you and everybody else. We love the city, and it's a great place to be.
Yeah. Well, I can personally attest to my friends who've never been down here, and they come down, they always say, we had no idea. We had no idea you had this. We had no idea. So I think that's a good place to end on today. I appreciate you coming in and sharing with us and sharing with our group, and this will go out to other people who happen to click on the YouTube channel. So I just want to thank you for your time today and coming in.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for interviewing me and spending the time, especially talk about Chula Vista.
Yeah. And you have an open invitation. Our group meets every Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. to 8:30. So sometime I'd love for you to come by and see what we're doing for our little business community, which, we're sharing a lot of business between us, and we're using networking to grow our businesses too. So thank you for your time today. And I think that's going to be it for our special edition of the BNI Partners in Excellence podcast. Thank you.